tarot cards. Yep, this video is not my usual time as I upload Tuesdays at noon Eastern Standard Time because, well, I kind of wanted to learn a little more about them to better understand this chapter. On top of that, I updated to Castilia for Mac iOS, and Audacity, which is the program I use to record, is being a little funky. It wouldn't let me record, so yeah. Honestly, this chapter was a lot in a good way. Chapter 69, titled Moon Maiden, drops for everyone on November 23rd at 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. So if you use spoilers for your FastPass coins, wait a bit. I guess look up some tarot terms if you don't know them yet. Some of the videos that I used to learn it, you can find either in the top right or in the description below to kind of get yourself better accustomed to it. I used the one by Tekking because there were some tarot cards used by Basil Hawking in One Piece, so that's where my source came from. Like and subscribe for weekly Purple Hyacinth chapter reviews. Thank you so much for all the support as we've broken through that 350 subscriber mark. But I did take a look at my stats, and here's and it's not really calling out the early viewers to these videos as they're the ones that FastPass, because most of them are subscribed. I'm talking to you, yes, the person that'll be watching this in November. Subscribe if you enjoy it. It's free. Now, let's begin. This is the first chapter that I read right as it dropped for me, and boy, am I not going to do that again. Not only did I not pick up much from the chapter, my discussions on Discord were not productive. My brain is tired at the end of the day, and I didn't even get to see my girl Athena. The custom title by yours truly is Maidenly Mystery. Who is this mysterious Hecate who seems to know so much about our moon maiden, Lauren? I love how we open this chapter with a similar position and style as we were introduced to the Circus Royale in chapter 51, which I did end up rereading before starting this review. Although there are a lot of things that I can talk about chapter 51 in retrospect, I'll do it or after 70 or after we finish this Circus Royale section. There were some key differences that kind of seemed to show us a little more insight, or, you know, probably just me overthinking as usual, but you guys are used to that. The entrance Kim enters from is different from the entrance that Lauren enters from, as there is an arch and the gates here, while Kim's way of finding the Circus Royale seemed more accessible and easy to find with the giant flag. Another indicator is the Ferris wheel, which we see in the back of Lauren's view, which could be argued that it was still being set up when Kim stumbled upon the circus. We have the same perspective, kind of fisheye wide lens shot that we had in 51, but here it's way more focused and zoomed in. It's not as much of the wide lens scope as when Kim finds it, because, like I said, Kim stumbled on it and is filled with curiosity, while Lauren and Kieran have come for a specific, focused goal of finding out more information, and that's why we're a little more zoomed in here. Sharing is caring. Lauren tells Kieran an abridged version of the flashback we see near the end of season 1, and it's been blurred out for us here in this chapter. I think this is a great usage of the blur effect on the speech panels, because we don't exactly need to know what Lauren said since we've already experienced it through her eyes, and it kind of lets us continue with the flow of the story. Plus the little hat covering their faces while Lauren gets close was kind of cute. Kieran finally realizes that he wasn't the cause of Lauren's pain when she ended up in the nurse's office, and that it was the encounter with Sake and Belladonna that caused the concussion. This is why I think we get a little joke cracked here with Kieran saying my equal in stubbornness, as, you know, this was a really great little moment, and it doesn't feel out of place because we know the worries that each have had before, and now we just have one thorn from their relationship removed. There was a theory that Kieran was already in the circus when he was younger because he lived in Great Chapel and most likely an orphan. While I like it, the more and more I think about it, I don't think it's plausible. We don't really know the criteria for recruitment in the circus, and I'm assuming we'll get to that next chapter with Kieran, but it's definitely not Radcliffe parading around Great Chapel looking for homeless orphans. We know that Kieran was in a home before in 64, and we also see him escaping or running away from something in the past. I believe it was 67. I don't actually remember exactly. I don't see Kieran also being part of the circus unless the circus doubles as a Phantom Sight training camp in Great Chapel. We know that there's some tie, but I don't know if that's why Flemings bought the ticket. What I do feel is most likely was strengthened by Lauren's line, one-time chance to switch career paths, which is also an amazing panel as her coat blends into the whiteness of the next page. I believe that Kieran had to choose between the circus and probably the Phantom Sight, and we know which she chose. Kieran has already had his chance to choose a different career path before. Although we got a regular panel of Lauren walking through the circus before getting to the fortune teller, I could have easily seen a vertical panel here, like the one where she's walking and met Tim Sake by the street stalls at the end of season 1. A wide, expansive shot as a hand reaches out and grabs her would have been awesome, especially since this is the same exact chapter. Lauren decided to tell everything about Sake to Kieran, and it would be a nice parallel comparing that vertical panel to potentially this one. But I mean, it's still a nice panel. Hecate, I know she probably isn't related, but I think she is sisters with Eurydice because of the hair and eye color are just too similar. Also the fact that Hecate is the goddess of magic and spells and is usually shown as three-headed or three-bodied. So I think there will be a third sister in the set of 3. Hecate is the crossroads that gives Lauren the information about her past, present, and future, while Eurydice and the other one who we haven't met yet will try to pull her one way or the other in these crossroads. Hecate represents Lauren's death as a police officer, as this is the start of the journey that Hecate will walk Lauren through with her words to her inevitable quote-unquote death. Not physically, but metaphorically. As I continue to say that the bombing will succeed, Hecate is definitely making my claim even stronger. So 5 cards were picked, and I will say I know very little about tarot, and I don't believe it one bit, as I'm as skeptical as Lauren is. So these interpretations should be taken with that kind of mindset, as I just watched one YouTube video explaining them, and then I looked up on like tarotlist.com and read those meanings. Also, Lon made an amazing document where everyone has been filling out their own interpretations, which I'll link in the description below so you can see other interpretations of these 5 cards. So the 2 of Swords, picking between her desires and the right path that she's been grappling with this entire story. Even with Lauren's ability, she uses those as a anchoring point to dive deep into the lies and what the lies mean. But the thing is, the truths are just as important as the lies. The 5 of Cups. Lauren's past, as we've explored, is filled with loss and failures, as Lauren is continuously put into situations that she has no control over, even if she's privy to additional information. Her hypocrisy and straightforward approach to find the truth of not letting Dylan go is why she cannot seek forgiveness from Dylan, her parents, and the loon victims, as we see in Lauren's nightmare at the end of season 1. 2 are still standing, and I don't know if it could be her parents, but maybe if they are still alive, and that her letting go of Dylan and accepting it could pave the path back to her parents. I do think that it's most likely the 2 that are standing is Kim and William. She should cherish what she has in front of her and reach out to them before they are too far apart. And since we're diving into Kim and William, they're getting further and further away. The Tower, unstable and stricken by the lightning bolt of truth. Yes, Hecate, tell me I am right. Circus go boom by the end of the season. This parallels Kieran's Tower adventures as well in 40. The mistruths and delusions that Lauren was going to get more information from Anslow. Her world came crashing down when she saw her parents' car in the picture driven by Tim Sake. There is no escape. Although this is a card for the future, it highlights what has happened already in the story so far. Kieran is that bolt of lightning able to shake the very society with his exploits, breaking into a safe haven deemed by the monarchy and exposing just how fragile this whole Arthalis is. 10 of Swords, the end of something. No hope for revival. The line is crossed and we can't go back. It also seems to bring a paradoxical sense of closure and release. No more ambiguity. This card appears when one is exhausted and used up, burnt out by the effort of caring and responding and trying to make a difference. Now this is so confusing for me because it could apply to so many characters, but I think this will be the duality of truth for both Lauren and the truth for Arthalis, which could be the one and the same. Lauren will find her answer that she's looking for at the end of this season. It will be because someone else who is also exhausted and used up by the effort of caring and making a difference. I don't think it's Will, because his betrayal would not give him a sense of closure or release, as I see William breaking the mold that he's currently inhibiting for Lauren's favor. Now we don't know enough about Kim's past, but I can see her as someone at the crossroads as well, choosing to help or hinder Lauren. And it gets harder and harder as Lauren continues to make more moves as Loon. Kim has tried her best to reason with Lauren's decision, but at some point she will be used up and cave. I think this is good for Lauren because she will no longer have to ponder over her parents or Dylan because the truth will be out. The interesting thing is, what will Lauren do do when she fails another bombing yet finds what she's looking for? Will she be left an empty shell as her drive and rage for revenge and truth disappears when it's handed to her at the cost of all the lives that will potentially be taken? Her response at the end of the season and probably season 3 will be very, very interesting to see. We started the second season with the death of Loon as Lauren calls off the deal that her and Kieran had, so I don't think we'll have another fallout like that again at the end of this season, but I do think it'll be the death, which is the 5th card of the royal family. Lauren's enemies are not the ones hiding in the shadows and are not the ones that are actively lying to her. Just like Kieran prances around in broad daylight, the leader does as well, clearly. I'm assuming. Not clearly, but why is this person so similar to Lauren? Is this person also driven by survivor's guilt? Are they also driven by fighting for the truth? I don't know. I really don't know who this leader could be. It is time to push forward into the new society, and it all rests on the hands of our dear Lauren. Now, does she really want society to be better? I don't think so, because her first objective is always to seek the truth. That's why when she finishes that objective, what will she do? Will she actually push for a better society? Especially as her mindset is shifting already from her conversation with Kieran last chapter. Well, that is all for the video. I think looking at the other tarot cards and why they weren't chosen, or why only the normal sides of all these cards were chosen, could add so much more to the conversation, as our authors picked these 5 for a specific reason. I love these prophecy type situations as we continue to theorize on it as the story progresses. Now, do I know who will betray Lauren or who's the leader? Nope, and that's okay. We better get some Athena on 70 or I will lose my mind. Thank you so much for listening up to this point. As always, make sure to heart the chapter when you finish reading and comment to be a part of the community. Like and subscribe if you enjoy this sort of stuff. My social media can be found by searching Inspirational on YouTube, Twitter, and Twitch. Shout out to my designer. You can find his work on Instagram at JatinV_photography. See you all next time.